Welcome to another Cuke audio podcast. Today it's life in Bali, that respite from all the Zen nonsense we do the other days. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable and free from economic hardship and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of do as little harm as possible. Now, I'm DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Doga Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear, lovely Kadrinka. Our guest today is Susanne Nuetzi-rusterholz. And Susanne is an environmentalist, and Kadrinka knows her from the Bali International Women's Association, BWA, and Susanne is involved with a number of projects. scholarsofsustenance.org/SOS Bali, Indonesia. SOS Bali-Indonesia. Scholars of Sustenance Indonesia, SOS Bali, Indonesia. And she's promoting Bambika Farm aquaponic systems. And we've got one now. And it's got little fish in it, little tiny ones. And you give them a little tiny bit of fish food. And then around, it's in a big black tub. And around, sort of the size and shape of like a garbage can. Around the top are these little plastic cups with they did have a bunch of seeds in them, but now they're growing what they call kangkung here, and it's water spinach. And anyway, the fish get big, and you harvest the water spinach, and you keep adding water, non-chlorinated water. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's they're getting those out to people here. So we've got one now so we can learn how to do it. And I learned from a local guest who was here that the fish in there are ikan lili. And I said, Katrinka, he says there's ikan lili. She says they're catfish. And so I said to her, she says they're catfish. And I told her what that was in Indonesian. And I said, we call them that because they have these whiskers. He said, yeah, 2 on each side. So, and then they get big and they're harvested and people eat them. Or maybe they take them home as pets. And Susanne's with Bali Street Mums. That's BaliStreetMums.org, B-A-L-I, StreetMums, M-U-M-S.org. And, on Facebook, paduli.alam.bali. Paduli's like take care of, alam is like nature. So Paduli Alam Bali, taking care of nature in Bali. Oh. So, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a sort of update what's happening with Kadrinka and me, and then we'll go right into the phone chat with Susanne. Well, I've changed my mind. I was going to tell you about how we had to get a new refrigerator and I had to get a new iPhone, These things, they break down and stop working. And we had some screens fixed today. That was going to bemoan our state. But then I remembered when Mudik was here the other day. Mudik who told me those are ikan lili, catfish. He just came by to tell me why he'd been sending people and hadn't been coming himself. He's the boss. Well, it's his cousin, and I mean the guys who work with him, he's very close with. They work as equals, but anyway, we always like to have him here. But he was explaining, that his son had had a circumcision, and it had gotten infected, and so that just, it's all okay now. But that, he said, that kept him occupied for like 2 weeks, because that was important, right? Yeah. My 2 sons did not get circumcisions, but I was circumcised, so whichever. But anyway, while Mudik was here, I made him some tea. He always likes to have tea. Tea with a little honey and some milk, and he's happy to have the cashew soy milk. We always keep a little regular full cream cow milk too, just a little tad a bit, things like that, give it a little body. So, and I gave him one of Katrinka's peanut butter cookies, and we were talking. He was telling me about that, and he got a call. And he said he had to leave right away. And he said he had to go to the hospital, the one that's right near our house. And the son of a friend of his, 4-year-old son, had just been pronounced dead there. He drowned in the river in front of their home. So he went off. Oh, God, that was terrible to hear. Kadak, our housekeeper, she said, they just don't put fences around anything here. So, when I remembered that, I lost all desire to go on about what's happening with us. That's really sad. But life goes on. And somebody who's helping life to go on here is Susanne. Susanne. So let's give her a call, and that'll pick things up. Pardon me. Hi, Suzanne. Now, how would you pronounce your last name?
Nuetzi, N-U-T-Z, Nuetzi.
Yeah, Nuetzi.
Nuetzi. Grüezi in Switzerland. It's about the same, just with an N, Nuetzi.
But what about Rusterholz?
Oh, Rusterholz, yeah. That's a bit difficult. It's a U. It's called Rusterholz.
Oh, Susanne Nuetzi-rusterholz. Is that?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, good.
Very good pronunciation. Very good.
Well, you know what my middle name is?
No?
Reich, Reich.
Oh, Reich. Yeah, that's a German name,
Oh yeah,
actually.
my mother's from
Uh-huh.
a Texas German family, generations of
Uh-huh.
Texas and Kansas Germans. So she
Mm-hmm.
was Adele Reich, but we don't say Reich.
Oh, oh, the
We
Lilith.
say Rich.
Mm-hmm. You say
Yeah,
rich? Okay. Well, it's the same meaning, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just translated it perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice name. It's yeah.
Yeah. I'd just like to ask you what you're up to right now. Let's start there, huh?
Okay, I'm just finished doing my kefir. I'm doing this water kefir. It's like a routine every 3 days. I start the second fermentation and then I start the new one again. So the first fermentation. So that's what I did today. I had some mango pit and I had some butterfly peas out of the garden and some other like cinnamon. And Marquise just put it in the second fermentation, which will be out for a day.
Oh, wow. I
That's
envy
what
you.
I did.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. On a larger scale, what are you doing with? Why is Katrinka going to meet you? You're involved with some environmental work here. I'm not sure how to call it.
Um, it's not, yes, yes, me neither. It's more like what I try to do is, you know, the crisis here in Bali that people really go hungry. I try to get away from this handing out food.
Yeah.
I try to work with people who have other ideas. Either is it plastic exchange for food, or what we're doing today is it's like an aquaponic system, handing out people a very simple aquaponic system. It's like a
Mm.
bucket with a spout, and you have lilies, that's a kind of catfish, on the bottom of this pot, and on top you have kind of these horrible plastic containers with a kind of spinach, of water spinach, kangkong. And so it's a kind of the feed fish the kangkong and the kangkong feed the fish, and you just have to add fish food to it. And within 2-3 weeks, you can harvest your first spinach, and within about 2 months, you can start harvesting the fish. So it's a
Wow.
kind of people getting off, you know, this handing out food. So that's what we try to do now. I ordered for a project for the Bali street moms about 4 buckets to try to see if they can handle it, and if yes, they even could get on a bigger scale, you know, since they know how the system works.
Oh, that's really interesting. And
Yeah.
how how would you describe Cancun in terms of Western vegetables?
It's called morning glory, as I know in English.
It's called morning glory.
Yes, it's called morning glory. It's a
Wow.
vegetable you would order as morning glory in like in Thailand or so, and here it's just the name. It's kangkong. It's a kind of a winey spinach with arrowhead shaped leaves, and you can eat the leaves and the fresh wine.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Wild spinach. Uh huh. Oh well,
Hmm.
that's great. That's great. I'd like to see one of those.
Yes, you
Um,
will, because you will be the owner of one. Katrinka's bringing one home.
all right. All right. Um, I've thought about changing our garden from ornamental plants to plants that can be eaten.
Hmm.
Uh,
That's, hmm. We have a kind of half-half. We have both.
yeah.
We have I mean, I just plant stuff, and if it works out, it's perfect. But what we have big trees. We have one mango tree, and we have three jackfruit trees. We have Moringa, what is very easy to grow, and it's very healthy. It's also very good for the earth itself. It's very nutritious for the earth. So yeah, I'm just planting some stuff and see how it goes, and we're getting further and further with just being able to eat out of the garden, what is great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who now? What do you call these? You call it hydroponic. Um, the thing.
Aquaponic.
Pardon?
Aqua, aquaponic. It's with
Aqu.
water. It's
Uh-huh.
aquaponic. Yes, it's a very simple aquaponic system.
So, what would you call what Katrinka is bringing home? An aquaponic system?
Yes, a very simple one. It's just the circulation that the fish, they clean the water, and the plants and the fish poo, and then they actually fertilize and feed the plants on top. And the only
Wow.
thing you have to add is a bit of fresh water every week and fish food.
Oh, I'm interested in that. Uh,
It's very
I
simple. You will see, very simple.
Yeah, I've seen bigger
Yes.
aquaponic systems in California that were used to process sewage.
Yes, that's like a gray water system, yeah, where you can plant. There you would plant kangkong and stuff like that.
Yeah, not just gray water, all
Okay.
sewage.
Old sewage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we try to do here, I mean, not in our house, but if I would build a house, I would like have for my sink, I would have one of these gray or wastewater systems.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So that would be so easy to do and would be great fertilizer.
You know who has a gray water system in their home is Deepak and Hira from Satvika
Oh, yes.
Boga.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. They're really
Yeah.
good at stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
That's
an
cool.
engineer.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, they really, and they cook with uh, they compost, what do you call it, to make methane and cook with that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have
Um,
like a
yeah, right,
biogas system. Yes.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
That's cool.
who do you give these aquaponic uh, systems to?
Um, I will give 4 to the Bali Street Mom project. It's a project in Denpasar where they try to get these begging women off the street and people who live on the dump, that they give them a better education and a better home. So there are a kind of 2 or 3 different systems working together at the moment. But where I will give it today, it's the safe house from these Bali Street Moms. So people like women and children, they took off the street and give them a home and try to teach them skills.
Mm.
And that would be also a kind of a skill. So far, they taught them to like send glasses, cut bottles, send glasses, or make jewelry. But I think it could go in a bigger dimension or in another dimension with producing fish
Mm.
or kangkong. And if you're fed up with eating your kangkong, then you go and buy a chicken and you feed the kangkong to the chicken, and then you have eggs. It could be a bigger thing. It could be a bigger project at the end of the day. Maybe let's see how it goes. But they have to be responsible and learn how to feed the fish and take care of it. And if they do a good job, we can talk about going further.
Yes, I understand. I understand. Uh, because Joran, who distributes the Nazava filters.
Yes, Sierra Leone, yeah, yeah.
I, I've given we've given about 5 of those away,
Mm-hmm.
and with 2 Indonesian families we gave them to, who are, quite used to dealing with foreigners, and but two driver families, but
Yes.
I had to replace the filters after about half a year with both of them because they didn't take care of them. But
Oh, I see.
then they were embarrassed, and there hasn't been a problem since then.
Oh,
But
good. Good,
yeah,
because with this with this water system, water filter systems, we like in Biwa, we did hand out some, but we had quite a few problems because either people wouldn't take care, the water would be yucky green and no one would drink it because they go like, it's not clean,
yeah,
or then they wouldn't even use it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So Um, you
I
know,
know.
for me, it's very important that people I give something to, that they really own it, that they look it as theirs. If you just give it to them, it's kind of free, so they can use it or not. But that's not. I want to get away from them. Also, goes into the just giving this the food or the sembako away. It needs to have a kind of an exchange sooner or later. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Huh. That's an interesting idea. Uh, we're giving our gardener a simbako once a
Well,
month.
that's yeah. Well, that's what I do as well. I'm handing it to my bembonto, but I just, I just learned of over all these years that if you just always give, it's a kind of, for free, and it's you just get it, and I really think people need to also do something for it,
Yeah, I
at
understand.
least a bit.
I
Yeah,
understand. That's so true. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, you're that what the saying is. Rather than giving a person a fish, teach them how to catch fish.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's what we try to do with these aquaponic systems as well, a bit, like
Hmm.
help them get on their own feet and try, make the best out of it.
Now, is this a project of the Bali International Women's Association or BWA?
Hmm. No, actually not. It was too complicated for me. It was also a bit on a short notice for the last meeting, who was beginning of October, that I discovered this. The place is called Pimica, who makes this aquaponic system, the guy Bogusti. And I just had some money still from friends in Switzerland. I get some donations from people who used to live here or who know how the situation is. And they just give me sometimes money and go like, I just trust you. I mean, if you have an idea what to do, how to help people, go ahead. So
Yeah.
this is kind of out of this pot.
Now, you could Katrinka has been collecting certain types of food uh,
Wraps,
containers,
bags, yes.
like bags.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what type of bags are there? How would you describe them? And what do you do with them? Because we've given you a whole bunch.
Yes. So these are the sturdy ones, the good quality bag, example from dog food or from dishwashing liquid or from washing powder. Sometimes they also, the rice bags, they have nice prints on it, and you can recycle them. I mean, you can't recycle them, or you can recycle them as to go into new plastic bags. What you also can do is you can just make them into bags or little purses or big shopping bags or whatever. And a friend of mine, she is in Amid, she has an organization who is called Beduli Am, And
Mm-hmm.
she collects these bags, and she taught women or found women around Bali who are able to, fold these bags up and do them into really, really artistic, beautiful, beautiful bags, who are very, also very solid. I mean, I use mine for since years, and they're very well made and done. And she sells them again and gives them an income. So she creates an income for them, um, and also recycles plastic bag waste who would end in landfill,
Right,
most
right.
probably.
These are, yeah, like you say, they're very sturdy.
Yes,
Like,
some of,
like, uh, uh, Katrinka likes to get these corn chips, and they
yes, I
come
know
in a
she's
very sturdy
addicted.
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, oh, she tries not to get too much. She'll
Ah,
she'll not get them, and then she'll weaken and get them, and
yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
but you've gotten a lot of those, and they go to Ahmed over in the Far East. In the east is the
Yes.
poorest part of Bali.
Yes, the
Hmm.
driest, one of the poorest ports. And I don't know why Heike is there and has a shop there, but she has this shop since years and comes to all the bazaars down and brings them. And yeah, they really, yeah.
Hmm.
Also think she exports them sometimes. I mean, I have friends who ordered bags. I had to bring them back to Switzerland because they really like them so much.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Now, I think the first thing I remember about you is you were marketing maybe and giving away uh, bags, but more substantial or bags. What were they? No,
It was.
I know. It was like not plastic. Tell me about it. I can't quite remember.
I think it was in during the Biwa Bazaar. Biwa has an annual bazaar, and first time I was there involved, or not even big involved, I was shocked how much plastic, how much trash, how many plastic bags were handed out who I could see were laying somewhere after that. And out of that, together with Katrinka, and I can't remember who else it was, maybe Katy, we just said we need to do some, and we need to find more environmental friendly solutions for packaging. So the first year after, I said I could get hold of some bags. I'm sure they're made out of a kind of plastic. Some are cotton, but half of them I know it's made out of. But the plastic you can recycle. So the good plastic bags, not the one-way plastic bags. And so what we did was we gave them away. We handed them out in when people came into this bazaar area and said, please use this bag. Don't take a plastic bag. Please use this bag. And then another organization, the Bye Bye Plastic Bag Girls organization, came in and made just like a flash mob thingy and went to all the people who still had a plastic bag and said, give me that plastic bag, I refund you with a reusable, nice, sturdy bag. And they collected within, I think, 10, 15 minutes, they collected about 250 or 300 bags and put them in a pile and said, look, this all would be laying somewhere later on. So please, I mean, that was kind of the idea behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Hand
Mm-hmm.
out, hand that bag, bring your own bag. That was before it was compulsory here to kind of compulsory bring your own bag to shopping centers because no one was taking care of that. Yeah, I think that was the idea. That's what I'm still doing. I'm still going like, I have enough bags. I have a lot of material. I collect a lot of material from friends and just say, before you throw it away, give it to me. I give it to a women's organization and ask them to make bags out of it. So they get paid for the bags. And often BWA can put the label on and pay them for the stitching, for the sewing. And we use them as either as donations, if we hand something out, or yeah, it's a kind of working together, getting people involved, with
Mm-hmm.
work.
Have
So yeah,
Go on, go on.
yeah. So this is we also had a project with Biwa with the old banners. You know, these plastic banners where you say like, you know, whatever advertisement, that we made
Oh,
them into really nice bags, the reused banners, and could
you mean
even,
large banners?
yes, the large banners, the 1, 2, 3 meter banners, and you know, with all the pictures on from the, sometimes also from the sponsors like Houghton, so we could give Houghton one of these really nicely made bags and say thank you so much for sponsoring us all the time, you know, and helping us. And so it was a kind of more gift giving away or auctioning, and we
Mm-hmm.
only had about maybe 15, 20, but it's also recycling, it also goes into this.
Um, so, how did you get started in this sort of activity?
um it started actually already before I came to Bali. I mean, we used to live in Java from 93 to 2000. And already
Oh,
there, I mean, yeah, we used to live also in Pakistan. Already there, I could see the amount of trash, you know, not that there was no possibility to recycle this plastic. Even 25 years ago, there was plastic already. The cows were feeding on these dumps, and also there it started. I mean, for me, you know, so not that I would do much about it, but in my brain, I started already to use my own bag and, you know, tell the people, you know, don't take straws or single-use plastic. But since I then came here and saw I mean, I saw this dump, this huge mountain of plastic. I was really shocked, you know, in paradise, plastic in paradise, and that's when I really started to just go like, this is not going to go well if we don't really do something against it.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed any reduction
Hmm.
in plastic trash? Have you noticed a reduction of plastic trash or of the use of plastic? I mean, it's hard. The reuse of non-recyclable plastic is the the worst maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I think it still not didn't go into the daily routine of people to
Yeah,
think of if they purchase um, vegetable wrapped into plastic, that they end up with plastic trash, you know. And and also what I noticed is 20, 30 years ago you could buy everything loose, you know, it wasn't wrapped. I mean, everything was still available without plastic, more or
yeah,
less, but now everything is double wrapped. I mean, even the fruits get wrapped, you know, and this is what scares me, you know, that it is you can transport it easier. So, you know, it's the handling what makes it easier if you wrap it. So, and we as customers, we are the one who should refuse to buy it. And if we would do that, it would be possible to avoid it. If we would buy local, if we would, you know, just you go to the next farmer's market, you know, support your farmer, um, don't buy the imported stuff, you know, and then it would work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a number of environmentalists who think it's more important to buy local than to try to buy organic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I try both. You know, if I find organic, I buy the organic. But I also like in Switzerland, when we go back to Switzerland with a family, we sometimes are like 7, 8, 10 people in our house, and I go to the really expensive organic shop to buy. I mean, I could spend 12 Swiss francs, what is about $11 for one single melon. This is, I can't, I can't afford that.
Yeah,
This is,
I
it has
yeah,
to have a balance.
yeah. When I've been in Switzerland a little bit in oh
In
maybe
Salisbury, I
three
mean,
times in the
yeah.
last 10 years, and I go into uh, like a store that sells food, and they frequently have something that's half off, that's a day old.
hmm
That's
And you
what
can buy
I
it.
always look for
Yeah.
that. Everything's so expensive.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm. It is. It is. Yeah, what the trick is a bit in Switzerland. If it is something in season, you can buy it. But
yeah,
everything who is just imported from Spain or from Israel or whatever, it's expensive.
yeah, it's very expensive. As a matter of fact, I don't go to Switzerland unless I'm going to stay with a friend or a Buddhist group or something. It's
hmm
just
hmm I
uh,
know.
too expensive. Well, the uh, you were talking about bringing how we bring our own bags now to the store. How widespread is that? I mean, it's very widespread in the areas I'm in, even among Indonesians. I notice. I mean, there's both things happening, but of course, it's the expat community uh, does it more. But how widespread is that throughout Bali, bringing your own bag?
It's as far spread as you have to. It's compulsory now, and that's why people usually do it. And that's why I think if people still could get any bags, like in Hordes, 20 bags, double layer, they still would do it.
Yeah,
Most of them, not all. There are always exceptions. I never would say all, but that's also why I think the governments all over the world, um, they should have the facilities to recycle and to compost and to make it compulsory for people to bring their trash in, and having huge fines if they don't do it. And
yeah,
not only the people, also the big companies, the big factories who get away with just destroying hundreds and thousands of liters of water just because they bribe the right person.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this is what I think. It needs, people, if they can get away with it, they get away. That's the nature of most of us, sadly.
yes.
So it needs someone who says it's prohibited. I mean, with the speeding as well, if you wouldn't have the rule of not more than 120 in Switzerland, people would speed.
Mm,
I
mm,
mean, I'm promoting this because I don't see another solution. I would wish there would be one.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, the I've spent a little time with some of the recyclers here, and I recycle everything. And
Mm.
both recyclers who are expats and the Pumalung, the local recyclers, and there's an enormous amount of it happening. I go to the centers where they collect. I can't find anybody collecting bottles unless they're, the Bintang beer bottles. Or I don't find anybody. Oops, oops.
Yes, I'm back.
Hi, we
Hi.
got we got disconnected. Uh, um, let me see. I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Um, uh, so I've been to these recycling areas here, where they
Mm-hmm.
the local recyclers too, the Pumalung, and just have warehouses full of cardboard and cans and plastic and paper, and so there's a lot of recycling happening. I don't see any glass recycling. Do you know of any glass recycling?
No, it's not recycled at all. The only one who are like taking back their bottles is Bintang.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Mm.
Another thing
No
is
animals.
the the I forget the name of the organizations, the ones that are doing composting. That there's
Oh,
one.
the TPI, the
Pardon?
one at Jalandhanu Tempe.
Well, there's two. There's the one that's located in Gianyar that's
Oh,
that's been run for many years by Olivier
Olivier,
Olivier,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and who came in like '95, and then Oliver, the and the other fellow who's from Big Sur, California, have Bali Compost Crafters, I think it's called. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
Bali Compost Crafters has or had, I haven't been in touch with them in a little while, a a, a place right by the TPA, the landfill, where they would take,
Mm-hmm.
they would
The load.
recycle whole trees, and
Yes.
they have a big grinding machine there, a chipper, and
Yes.
then they have a deal with the university uh, out at Uluwatu. They have a lot of land there
Diana.
to work on it, and but
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen is, and what they're very well aware of, that is there's this enormous problem here with putting all of the organic waste into the landfill and just
Yeah. Yeah.
mixing it with plastic and everything. It's horrible.
Yes.
What do
And
you
this
know
is,
about that?
I just know that they should separate. This is the first, that is actually the key to it. And
Yeah,
as long as they don't do it, and this is another thing, I mean, they should be very thorough with that. There should be no organic matter in the plastic, because as soon as plastic is contaminated, you can't recycle it anymore.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so I mean, this is what I'm preaching. I mean, we have this system here in our house since years. We have the Eco Bali who is coming every week to get our plastic and our paper, and everything else, every organic matter from the kitchen, from the garden, stays in our garden, and it's being composted.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. We make compost here, but I can't make enough to take care of all the leaves that fall.
Yes, the
Uh,
leaves are the problem. Sometimes I really have to, we have to still bring them away, because it depends on the leaf as well. Some are composting really well, and other are just like never ever composting.
oh
It's
yeah,
interesting.
there's
I,
the palm
yeah,
related, the
yeah,
coconut, the
exactly.
palm related stuff. That would have to be in a long-term
Uh,
compost.
yeah, yeah. We have a
Eh,
kind of that. We have a big pile where we just add this kind of matter, and it just takes a few years, and
yeah,
it's great. It's great if you dig it out. You have the most wonderful earth, and you have all the little animals, and it's great. But it takes so much time,
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah. And if you don't have the space to do that, then it's not good.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, is there, w- we know that it should be separated. Is there any uh, is there any communication with? Are you ever in touch with people who make policy, the governor
No,
or are Indonesians who try to pressure the government or get new regulations or whatever?
Mm, there are a few, especially around Green School. I mean, I was involved with Green School due to our son went there for 6 years, and up there, it it the, yeah, it is just given that you have to separate everything. So people in this Indonesian people, especially the one married with foreigners, I mean, they get it.
Yeah.
But like my neighbor, I tried to the Ibu who has the little room in front of us. I mean, she has no clue about that, you know. I mean, she kind of uses some things like skins to. She puts that in the garden because she said, yeah, that goes quickly, you know. But everything who is not going so quickly, she just throws it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Is well, who what sort of who can who here is pressuring the government, the governor? I mean, what organizations are trying to get like we're talking
Yeah,
about
bye
how
bye
the
plastic girls and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I know the bye bye plastic bag girls
Hmm.
have been very effective, but
Yes.
and that they they did get uh, laws or regulations changed here.
Yes, they
But
did.
are there any are there any environmental organizations, Indonesian environmental organizations that I just don't know anything about, what's happening on a bigger level. I just know individuals who are doing things.
You know, I think what I'm happier to see now is that this kind of organization like the Bye Bye Plastic Bag Girls and the Maludong and the Trash Heroes and organizations like that, they used to be a kind of, oh, we are collecting every Monday trash, you know, and they just were into plastic bags and they were just doing that. And what I can see now, also I think due to this pandemic we are in at the moment, you know, and the focus is not so much on these beach cleanups with a lot of people, this, you know, health day of, yeah, World Day of cleaning up the countries. Since the focus is not so much on them, I think this organization got more together. And that was also kind of uh, what I looked at and didn't like, that they were very solitude, you know.
Uh
They
huh.
didn't had so much interaction, and that was not good, because if they would have worked together, the pressure would have been much bigger. And I just, since I'm friend with Elvira, who is the mother of the Bye Bye Plastic Bag Girl, she just said to me, we are talking with Eco Bali, we are talking with other organizations to get together, you know, because we are not strong enough now, and we don't have such a huge voice, because there is so much different stuff going on. We are not heard anymore. We had this omnibus thingy going on. We have the pandemic going on, you know, and
Yeah.
so now what I really think and feel is that these organizations, the people who are behind that, they get together and try to get stronger together. They have
Yeah.
to. They have to.
Yeah. 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 Well, that's good, because it seems
Hopefully.
to me that uh, these problems, the environmental problems, have to be dealt with by the government and
Yes.
by business. It's too big a problem. Like, oh,
It should, you know, every little or every business should be responsible for how they deal with their wrappings, you know, like all these water bottles, all these little water cups. I mean, they should be. you should really make, as a government, make sure they have a plan.
Yeah.
McD and all this stuff, like in Switzerland, around McDonald's, the McDonald's has people hired to pick their bags up. So when people throw them out of the window, they go and pick them up again.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Switzerland is awfully clean.
Well, yeah, but also because people clean up morning 4 o'clock. Otherwise, the parks would look different as well. I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
Don't go
Yeah.
off to party night and to the lake of Zurich and early in the morning before they cleaned it up. You would be shocked.
Well, that's it seems to me that one problem is that people have to pay for their trash pickup. And of course, for us, that's fine. But for poor people, that's an incentive to throw their trash into a
Yes,
river.
and they're also, like, now it's a bit better, but the big trucks, they couldn't get into the small guns, so they just did not pick up the trash there. There was no trash pickup at all. I mean, this is the paying is a problem, and also that in some areas no one picks up the trash. Yeah. How can you solve that? I mean, I know a lot of people, we just living close to a Sampa place around the corner at Batosari, and every day people bring their trash with the bikes. They just dump it there, and they're allowed to dump it there without paying, as long as you bring it. I mean, this is a solution I can see, and the other solution I really don't know. I mean, this is exactly the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it needs a solution from the top, but interest from the bottom. And yeah, what about climate change? What do you think?
Oh, God.
What do you have to say about that?
Oh, God. Well, I think it's really scary what's happening here. I mean, we all know that the climate is just, getting out of hand. We're having these heavy rainfalls, we're having these fires, everything changes. I mean, yeah, it really worries me, I have to say. And what can we do against it? I mean, we are just too many.
You think there's just too many
Yes,
people?
I mean, we are too many for this, and how we live on this earth, we would need 3 or 4 earths.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't see that there is a big solution, because there's so much money involved in everything. And as long as it is like that, as long as we have this money system who's ruling the world,
yeah.
where do we go?
Yeah.
If I can, what I tried really to start doing with my friends, that we start trading. We started to trade again. If I make kraut or something, and I trade with my friend, she might have made a cheese. She might have made a cashew nut cheese, and so we kind of tried to get out of this system. I mean, we can't. I know that we couldn't fly back to Switzerland if you would get out of this system. But as a small scale, I really think this is also a possibility, that we get back into the older system, where we can offer something and get something else for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is for us.
Well, how long have you been in Indonesia? A long time.
We've been now this time in Bali since 10 years. And before, we lived from 93 to 2000 in East Java.
Uh-huh. And why were you here in Indonesia?
My husband works for an NGO, a Swiss NGO, who implements project for not only but mostly for the Swiss government.
Oh, what sort of projects?
Well, we started off with a local educational training center where he was hired for the electronic department. It was a teacher training school. And after that, after quite a short while, he got a project manager for the whole local educational training center. But it was the last phase, so it was already working quite well. It's still working perfectly. It's one of the best projects ever implemented, I think, by Swiss Contact. And then he took over an environmental project, but that was more for local bankers, for local, what is it called? Like car repair and stuff. It was more the waste oil, you know, because they just, when they changed oil in the cars, they just would let it run to the ground and would contaminate stuff. So it was more related to clean cars, clean air, clean water. It was a kind of waste, but that wasn't the main aspect there. But so that was the project he was working at back in the days in Malang. And this one here is it's from another ministry from Switzerland. It's from the economic system department. So this is a tourism project to implement sustainable tourism on outer islands like Flores and Wakatobi, Tanjung Puting and Tanah Toraja, so Sulawesi. And they teach they have like they teach at schools. I mean, they teach the teachers how to do more environmental friendly, like housekeeping, you know, that these young adults afterwards can work in hotel and restaurants. They teach tour guides. They help traditional villagers to build up a system that they kind of also have a benefit out of the tourism who come, whereas also the tourists maybe have clean toilets and get a nice meal or a drink, or can read about the history. You know, it's a huge project. It has environmental aspects. They work with farmers. They work with a whole lot of communities, and but also they have to work with the ministries, with the ministry in Jakarta. They have to work with the local government, and they have to work with the little desas, with the little just on very low and on the level of the people. So it's a great project.
Wow, certainly does sound like it.
Yeah.
So you were 7 years in East Java, right? And
yes.
So 10 years here. So two questions come to mind. It's actually sort of one question in two parts. Can you tell us what's the difference between living there and living here, but also how have things changed over time in terms when you first arrived and now?
So the living in Java and here it was very different because we lived in Malang, and Malang is very nice, was back then quite a small town, and it had not many tourists. So we lived very local. We had a few other expats. There was not a big expat community. There was one small school. People couldn't speak much English, so there was no way out. You had to learn Indonesian to communicate. We lived very local. We lived very local there, and I really loved it. It was great for the kids. We had small kids, and our holiday destination was always Bali. And we always thought, oh, Bali already was so busy. But if I look back, it wasn't busy at all. But the roads were the roads were very narrow. You could hardly get from east to west. Only the coastal roads were going from west to east.
Yeah.
Because it has all these rivers going from north to south, and there were not many bridges, so it was really an adventure to getting through Bali back then in the days, and it was much greener. It was if you go into the very east still or the very west, you still see these small, very simple houses. You see the cows in the back and the pigs in their little thingy. The chickens all over the place. So it was like that, and more or less whole Bali was like that. There were the hotspots where Kuta, Sanur was really laid back. It was this beautiful just coast where you could walk and had a few hotels. For us it was paradise because there was a supermarket, the only one, the Geloel in Kuta. That was the only shopping mall. It's now the oldest, tiniest one, but we could buy bed sheets and stuff. We never could. So we went for shopping trips into the local market, the Badung market, and to Geloel, and brought home treasures we haven't had for years. It was great, but completely different. So, and then when we came here 10 years ago, it was very touristic, but it also, how the life is here. It's you could get more or less everything already. You had a lot of nice restaurants. You could go for a drink on the beach and for walks, and it was a kind of, for us, a nice mix.
Yeah.
Kind of Sanur is still now laid back, but still you can get everything. You have, we had the yoga on the beach, and but also for our son, it was still, it was something going on, but not too much party. So it was a good mixture, and we are very happy we are here in Sanur. I mean, I wouldn't want to live in Canggu or also Nusa Dua, because this is artificial. But it really changed Bali. It has so many people now. It's especially the south, very busy.
Yeah.
Too many big roads, it needs it, I know it, but the plans from the governments, like doing this Gilimanuk road, I don't know if you heard that, for I don't know how many trillions now in the pandemic, or building this new airport up in the north. I mean, the plans are just completely crazy.
Yeah.
This endless growth is really something who makes me cringe.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go for great. I mean, we have a beautiful place here, but we need tourists, not the mass. We need the quality. We don't need the quantity. We need the quality here. And this is what I would change. I really, really think they sold Bali very cheap, and it's all that money for Jakarta.
They seem to be dedicated to filling every space in with the building.
Yes, it's a lot of money. This is why they opened the Bali again for tourism. Because they want money. This is so much money for Jakarta.
I don't see any tourists now.
No, but the local tourism, they wanted to support that, but it didn't work.
Yeah, but they're planning on allowing foreign tourists to come in January, right?
Yeah, they're planning on. But you know what happened now is this new visa, the telex visa, the e-visa. You already can get in if you want to come for longer than for a few weeks. You get a visa for like social Budaya visa now for about with an agent about 6 million, 6.5 million,
Mm-hmm.
and you get your visa. So a lot of people
So
come.
that's like $400 or $400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, about $400. So, and I mean, it's getting winter now. People in Europe and in America, that the weather is cold. It's cheaper to pay this $400 and have a cheap restaurant, a hotel room or villa here and stay the winter here. So I'm sure people are coming now.
Now, but not right now, huh?
No, it's not a tourist visa. They come in on a social Budaya visa. They come in on
Uh-huh.
an e-visa. So this is what will happen now. A lot of especially Russians are coming now.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
they're not coming here to Murtasari area, or we don't notice.
No, no, but it is. It just picked up.
Uh-huh.
But just watch it. Just watch it.
Huh. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Funny, yeah, funny. You will see.
yeah,
No, because it's getting cold in Europe.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. So, well, uh, what do you have any thoughts about the Balinese culture?
I think it's very, very interesting, and the people are very dedicated. I mean, they still this. I think this culture is still going really
Yeah,
strong. I mean, I'm really, really happy, and I think it's one of the gifts, you know, the Balinese have. They just do it, you know. And there is still no way out, or they're not looking for ways out not to do it. So, and it's beautiful, it's colorful, it's kind of peaceful, you know, how they do it, but I also can see it stops maybe outside of the family or so, the peacefulness, or to be responsible for things like trash, you know, just throw it over the wall and it's not in my garden, but you sweep every day for in front of your door, you know.
yeah,
It's a kind of
yeah.
what makes me sometimes cringe my nails, but yeah, I love it. You know, it's very connected, a very connected culture with the nature. Actually, I mean, I feel very grounded if I'm seeing it or participating or. I love it. I have to say, for me, it's a big gift being here and being able to see it and to live with it. I mean, we used to live, as I said, we used to live in Java, and just a small example. I mean, we lived very close with the people, and we really liked them a lot. And our helper, that was a couple with two boys. They were not really Muslims. They were Muslims on the passport, but that was not a big thing. They were Javanese, and the joke was in Java back then in Malang. You know, you just choose. You know, if it suits you better to be Muslim, then you're Muslim. If it's better to be Javanese, then you know the old religion, the ancestral religion from Java. Then you that, you know. And they still had all the wayangs playing for when there was a ceremony, like a wedding or also when someone died, they had to have this special food and rits and everything. It was very, very, it was alive, you know, this old culture was
Yeah.
alive. But within these 7 years we were there, it really, really changed. The pressure was so hard on the people. Our helper, who worked for 20 years for foreigners, for us, she started to follow the rules of fasting during Ramadan, and it was all because of the children. It was often because of the children, because they went to these schools, these Muslim schools, and they asked them, so is your mother, you know, following the rules? Is she wearing a hijab? Is your father going every Friday to the mosque? You know, and the children came home and said, why aren't you doing this? You know, and our helper changed from not even thinking in her dreams of, you know, wearing a hijab and going to the mosque every day. She changed within this 20 years. We know her completely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely completely.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, I mean, this in Java, we could really see this, how this old tradition was pushed out, pushed away, in the 90s, especially, and when this Krismon came, when this Kreis Monitor came in 98, that was kind of the end of the culture. And I mean, I have to say, you know, Suharto, that was when Suharto fell or had to go or got out or whatever. He really had a lot of money for the artists, and that was cut after that. And so they disappeared. I mean, I had a lot of friends who were artists, and they couldn't survive. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see that the Balinese are much more resilient.
I have run out of questions. I mean, it's all very, very interesting. Some of it's a little sad and disturbing, and some of it's sort of promising. But is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
My conclusion is, you know, I mean, yeah, I told you a lot of things, what I'm really, really worried about it, you know, and what I can see in my daily life. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a person who is, you know, having black thoughts or dark thoughts about it. It worries me, but in my own life, in my family life, in the life of the people around me, I really try to be, and I am a very positive person, you know. I try to make the best out of it, of every day. I mean, I'm getting up every day, we go for long walks, we eat healthy, we love to cook, we love to have guests, we love to support other people. So I think it's, yeah, I think it's important to live a life, you know, who is a kind of meaningful. Maybe that's the wrong. Do you know what I want to say? You know, it's that sorry, it wasn't maybe very clear, but yeah, I just wanted to say that I think it's important that you have a positive mindset, that you can, you know, that you can take these burdens and just try to kind of change it, at least for you, or at least for people who you're close with, or helping people who are not in such a good spot as you do. You know, I look at me as a very, very privileged person. We have a privileged life. We have everything we can ask for. We are healthy. We have food on our table, you know. So, and I see it that I want to give this away, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it is a positive thought, it does not necessarily have to be money or anything, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of trying in a small scale, making the world a better place or a good place where we all want to live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like my garden, you know.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay, thank you so much for
Well,
calling.
thank you so much.
And I hope I could help you.
Oh, well, that was really interesting and informative. And tell
Thank
your
you.
dog hello for me. Oh, that might mean that Katrinka
Yes,
has
I will.
arrived.
No, it's Lee. Lee is already here. Katrinka, you're worried about the dog.
Well, Suzanne, go take care of things. And
Yeah, I will. Oh,
thank you very much.
yes, I will.
So we got disconnected right then, right at our final goodbyes. But I let her go. You know, she had to deal with somebody who had arrived and her dog was barking. And so thank you very much, Susanne Nuetzi-rusterholz, for sharing with us all the great things you do here to help us all, and especially to help those who are less fortunate, and to help people help themselves. So, until next time, this is DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives and Life in Bali, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Dogga Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka, wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.